Mr. Chris Gantry.
How do you do, sir? How you
Yes,
doing
sir.
today?
Doing a little front porch picking.
It's Sunday in the South, man.
That's right. I appreciate you taking the time being on the Chase Your Dreams documentary.
Thank you.
You've chased many dreams, haven't you? And you've accomplished quite a bit.
Well, dream chasing it's a good occupation to have. Man.
Yeah.
You know, and I guess everybody, when they're younger, latches onto a dream. Some go all the way with it, some hold back, some never even get to start.
That's right.
I'm one of these guys that latched onto a dream when I was a teenager in New York City.
Yeah.
As a 13-year-old. And I've been doing the same thing ever since, and I'm 75 years old.
Yeah.
I haven't had another job a day in my life.
I hear you. I hear you. That's awesome, man. Let's talk a little bit about half of your accomplishments. What was your influence as you was coming up? And
my influence started off in New York. I grew up in, being 75, that means I was born in the 40s, yeah, when Roosevelt was the president, if anybody knows who that person is, but he was the prez. And it was the beginning of what they call the doo-wop era in New York. You know, guys would meet on the street corners and harmonize and whistle at girls and make up songs about it. So I got started in the doo-wop era. And then I went to high school. I met a friend of mine who had a guitar. And shoot, man, I took to that thing just like, like a flea on a dog, man.
Yeah.
I latched on. I wouldn't let go, and I still haven't let go. I'm still on it. So, started writing songs in the old doo-wop rock style, and actually got a record deal when I was 14 with ABC Paramount with this friend of mine, and we made records under the name of Tom and Jerry, like the cat and the mouse. And that was it. So 1960 comes along, and I end up going to college in McKenzie, Tennessee for a little while, and I hitchhiked into town. Went to the Grand Ole Opry that I'd heard about, and the first guy I see on stage is like Porter Wagner. He's like skinny. He's as skinny as a Q-tip. He's got a pile of hair on his head about that high. And I said, and he's got a spangled suit on. I said, whoa, I could do that. That's something that'd be fun to do, right? Be that guy right there. So that was it. So a year later, I quit school, and about a year and a half later, and then came to Nashville, and it started. I got here in early 1963.
Wow. You've seen a lot of legends talking about Porter Wagner, and that's...
Well, there was a revolution that started to change the music. When I got here, the old guard, the old rhinestone suit Opry guys, they were hanging on for dear life. They knew there was a revolution taking place in the country, peace, love, generation, hippies, Beatles were coming on, Rolling Stones, and they pushed back against it. The guys like me came in and brought a little bit of that into the town and incorporated it into the country music, and I started to get songs cut.
You're kind of known a little bit more for in the 60s type era of coming into the Outlaw, bringing the Outlaw.
Well, I might have been the guy who did. You never know. All I know is when I got here, there was nobody here except Billy Swan. If you know Billy Swan. Billy Swan he was part of Chris's band back in the old days, and he wrote a song called I Can Help. I Can Help. And a big hit by Clyde McFadden called Lover Please. But he was the only young guy that I could relate to. So we hung a little bit, and I was bebopping around. Nobody could understand me because I talk like a New Yorker. I still haven't picked up any Southern words. So that's how it started. And then Eddie Rabbitt came in, then Vince Matthews drifted into town, and then Kristofferson came in late '64. I met him downtown, and he and I went to work at the same publishing company, Buckhorn Music. And we were there for 4 years together. So I saw Chris every day as a new guy on the block.
Wow.
And he was, a lot of people don't know this about Chris, but he didn't have his voice when he got here. Just like everybody, you got to find it, But he was hunting. He knew he loved country music. He knew he loved the sound of that train in the distance. That's what drove us.
That's right.
Yeah. And he searched for his voice.
Right.
And slowly it started to come to him until all of a sudden the angel came down and went, bing, sat on his shoulder.
That's right.
Started knocking them out those great songs. But here's the one thing is, folks, the songs that were written in the 60s became standards,
Right.
which means you still hear them on the radio today, like 50, 40, 30 years later.
Yeah.
And there ain't nobody writing standards anymore.
That's right.
For two reasons. First of all, everybody wrote their songs by themselves back in the 60s. Nobody co-wrote songs.
Right.
Because when you co-write, you have to compromise.
Right.
And why compromise something that's burning in your soul that you got to get out? We want to hear what you got to say. So that was it. And the other reason is that nobody takes any big musical chances anymore. Much.
Right.
You know, they stick to the rank and file. It gets boring after a while. Overproduced stuff you hear on the radio is so overproduced, you know. All the voices sound kind of alike. But everybody back then looked different, sounded different. All the music was different. That's what made it unique.
Yeah. It seemed like everybody today is more about writing for today, not worrying about tomorrow.
No, they get 3 or 4 writers in a little room, and they say we need to write a song for such and such,
Yeah.
and they knock out something that's, you know,
Whatever they
it's
think
got a
they
lot
should
of air in it.
Yeah. Yeah. How'd you tell me a little bit of your time about getting involved with Shell Silverstien, Willie Nelson, and some of the others?
Shell was my running buddy. He was my good friend. We gravitated towards each other right away because we were both Northerners.
Right.
And Shell had gotten out of the Army, and his childhood friend was who's the guy that ran the Playboy? What's his name?
Hugh Hefner?
Hugh. Yeah, him and Hugh grew up together. So when Hugh
Yeah.
started the mansion up in Chicago, he said, "Come on down, Shell, move in." So Shell moved into the mansion and lived there for 11 years.
Wow. He's seen a thing or two.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he was So when he came to Nashville, he wanted to get involved, and he and I met each other like the first couple of days, and
Yeah.
we stayed close right till his death.
Yeah, and it's kind of amazing. You meet these people at a young age, and just like the Rolling Stone, you've seen their whole career nearly, and these other guys, and Kris Kristofferson, and all these other guys, just come to the top, and you yourself as well.
Well, everybody's dying. That's
Yeah.
the trouble
Yeah.
in my generation of Nashville. Chris is alive, but he's having trouble with his memory and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So when I go out and play, I tell the story and sing the songs.
Right.
I tell about those guys, and I wrote songs about a lot of those people. So, you know, but Vince Matthews was he was a songwriter that Chris and I latched onto right away because we thought he was totally crazy. I don't know if you ever read the book On the Road by Jack Kerouac, but there's a character in there called Dean Cassidy who was just like, he was the king of the beat generation. He was go, go, go. His
Yeah.
button was going to go all the
Right.
time. And Vince was like that. He'd stay up for a week, take pills,
Yeah.
write 20 songs.
Yeah.
10 of them would be great.
Yeah.
And, you know, and he'd push everybody. And he'd talk nonstop. Just like I am.
Yeah.
Talk nonstop. Big man.
Hustler.
But Chris and I were fascinated by him. We actually loved him and learned a lot from Vince Matthews.
How'd you get connected with Willie Nelson?
Well, I was connected more with John and Waylon than Willie.
Okay.
Willie, in the 60s, was living out on a farm. And he stayed reclusive. And he was finding his voice. He had the old voice,
Yeah.
you know, from the 50s.
Right.
Hello, Walls, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And he wore a little suit and had a little haircut and all that shit. But in the he gravitated toward the peace love movement, started
Yeah.
growing his hair and started getting rowdy, smoking a lot of weed.
Yeah.
And he changed, and he changed actually for the better.
Right.
Well, the weeds got him by the short and curlies right now. I think he's having a tough time with it, but
Yeah.
but John, that's all. He was a good friend, and I met him when I was real young in Nashville, and then I got in trouble for growing pot on my farm. And John called me up, and he said, "Chris, I heard you got in trouble with the law." He said, "Why don't you come on out to the lake house and stay here?" And I go, "Whoa." live in the house of the king.
Yeah, and there's Johnny Cash.
Yeah, Johnny Cash. So I go out, stayed at John's house, and he and I became good friends. I went on his TV show soon after that. You can see my performance with Cash on YouTube called Allegheny. I did a song called Allegheny, just me and the guitar. Yeah. And then he recorded that. Then he and June recorded it together.
Wow.
She was drunk when she cut it.
The inside scoop.
Yeah, inside scoop, but drunk in a good way, man. She tippled a little that day, man, and got wild on that record.
Yeah. And at the time, all these folks was kind of young or getting started out and everything like that. Did you feel that any of these folks would just be as big legends as they are today?
Nobody knew anything.
Yeah.
No, we were just deadly serious about writing songs.
Right.
And I was one of the, you know, we knew we'd like to get our songs recorded, but we were taking total chances with country music and changing it. And, I mean, shit, I had a record song called Dreams of the Everyday Housewife, which was recorded by Glen Cambell. I wrote it on my first record for Monument, and it ain't nothing like it was country back then, but it went #1 country.
Yeah.
So that changed country music in a way. You know, it was like a war. It was like, why she looks in, that kind of a thing. Glenn cut it, and it was.
You got some new material you've been working on? You got anything that you want to push?
Yeah, I'll sing it. Let me sing something wild and crazy. If you don't mind.
Yeah.
It's called The Angel of Crazy.
Okay.
Well, my guardian angel who protects me, why it ain't like the ones in the movies you see. His halo looks weird and his wings are a sight. If you met him, you'd probably say, dude, you ain't right. He talks to himself and he beats on guitars. He shoots birds at the sun and moons all the stars. He'll dance in the street, you'll say, who could that be? Why, it's only the angel of crazy in me. The angel of crazy, touched in the head, rolling the stone back, raising the dead, spraying graffiti that spells perfectly. I think the angel of crazy is you and not me. I swear the angel of crazy is you and not me. Why, the angel of crazy, he's partial to sin. If he knocks on your door, girl, best not let him in. He'll flip you those lines many others were fed, then flutter his wings and jump in your bed. How boring life gets with the same rank and file, seedy pretensions and dishonest smiles. The cons and the schemes that go on endlessly don't fly with the angel of crazy in me. Why, the angel of crazy, touched in the head, he's rolling the stone back, raising the dead, spraying graffiti that spells perfectly. I think the angel of crazy is you and not me. I think the angel of crazy is you and not me. Why, you say that I'm nuts, but why can't you stop the wars that you start and the bombs that you drop? Call it what it is, pure insanity. Don't point at the angel of crazy and me. And with that I'll continue to being real strange, looking absurd and acting deranged. If you're discontent and don't feel like you're free, make your case to the angel of crazy, not me. The angel of crazy is touched in the head, rolling the stone back and raising the dead, spraying graffiti that spells perfectly. I think the angel of crazy is you and not me. I swear the angel of crazy is you and not me.
I like it. I like it. That's awesome, bro. That's awesome. Where can we find it? Is this recorded yet, or is it?
Oh yeah, I did a new record for Drag City, and out of Chicago. That's on the record.
Okay.
So it'll be out, and they just released an album that was lost for 45 years.
Wow.
When I worked for Johnny Cash, and he said, "Chris, why don't you go on in the studio and cut your record?" I said, "Okay." I went and cut a wild ass record.
Yeah.
And it got lost.
Oh,
and
wow.
one day John Carter, his son, calls me and said, "Chris, we found these tapes out here. They're in the vault."
Yeah.
He said, "Well, send them to me." I sent them. He sent them to me, and I sent them to a friend of mine. He goes, "Ooh, I knew who'd love this." So I got on Drag City Records out of Chicago. They're an old label.
Yeah.
And they've been good to me.
And this song's gonna be on that?
This is on the new one.
Okay.
The House
This
of
is the
Cash
one that
record.
they found in the vault, though, right?
Yeah.
This is one that.
No, this
oh.
isn't.
Okay.
No, the ones in the vault are 20 times crazier than that.
All right. Okay. Cool. Cool. I like it crazy. If you call that crazy, I want to hear all your crazy stuff.
So,
Man, and we can you can find you. Just Google your name. There's a list full
Oh,
of
yeah.
stuff on it.
There's all
Stuff,
kinds of
lots
crap.
lots of
and you can go on YouTube, and it's all over. And I think the Cash album is on Spotify. And I don't know. I mean, I write every day,
Yeah.
and I am in love with the process, just like I was when I was 13 years old.
You feel like it's a therapy for you to songwrite like
I don't
that?
know
It's just
I don't know how to tell you my troubles much, but I can put it into a
Right.
song and make it like, okay, I get it.
yeah.
If I tell you, you ain't gonna get it that good.
Yeah, I understand that. I understand that.
But if
as
I
well.
write it and sing it, it makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. I hear you, brother. You want to give us one more before we close her on?
Sure, man. Sure.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Give us 20 more.
Absolutely. Let's
That was great.
do Wasted.
Okay.
Why wasted on the street on a Sunday afternoon, wondering how this life of mine flew by so soon. I'm looking at my face in the window of a store I pass. I could blame what I see on the dirty glass. Either I'm an old man or a living country tune. I wasted on the street on a Sunday afternoon. I've hurt some people bad, and I've helped some too. I played my bets and lost it all, and won a few. Why do all the girls who laid with me and held me close, I'm thankful to you all, I remember you the most. My life has been so full, there's not an inch of room. I wasted on the street on a Sunday afternoon. I thank you, Jesus, picking me up each time I'd fall. Well, it lets me know my gypsy life is worth it after all. Redemption from the hell I raised can't come too soon. I wasted on the street on a Sunday afternoon. Now the piper plays a song, I hear it in my sleep, and it's a done deal appointment that I gotta keep. I wrote a lot of songs and a lot of time beating on this guitar, but I gave it all up for the love of chasing that elusive star. Right here in this room, I'm just some old buffoon, wasted on the street on a Sunday afternoon. Thank you, Jesus, picking me up each time I'd fall. Well, it lets lets me know my gypsy life was worth it after all. Redemption from the hell I raised can't come too soon. I wasted on the street on a Sunday afternoon. Well, I'm just wasted on the street Sunday afternoon.
Awesome. Chris Gantry, I appreciate you very much.
Thank you.
Brother.
Pleasure to do this interview.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so
Yes,
much
sir.
for coming out and
Thank you very much.
listening to me shoot my mouth off.
That's right. That's right.
Non-stop.
Oh, that's great. I can sit here and listen to stories all day, man. I appreciate
So
you.
good, man.
Chase your dreams, everybody. Chris Gantry, you can find him on the internet.
Dreams are sacred things. Defend them at all costs.
That's right.
Like someone did for us who once hung on a cross.
Yes, man. That's right. That's right.
Good.
Thank you very much, brother.
Yes,
appreciate
sir.
you.
Pleasure.
Yep.
Good days.
Awesome.